Have you ever had a great trading idea, but then kind of struggled to turn it into a profitable, automated strategy? Yeah, you're not alone. Today, we're going to demystify that exact process. We're going to bridge the gap between a promising theory and what actually works in the real world.
Okay, so let's just dive right into it. We're going to follow a single trade from the very beginning, just a concept, all the way through its execution and what you do after the trade is closed. By the end of this, you're going to have a really clear roadmap for turning your own trading ideas into a repeatable, automated process.
You know, pretty much every successful automated trade follows this four-phase journey. Think of it as your workflow, your repeatable system. It's all about building discipline and clarity into every single thing you do in the market.
So, where do we start? Phase 1. It's all about finding the signal. This is where we learn how to separate a real opportunity from all that market noise out there and really zero in on those high-probability setups. The first thing we've got to get out of our heads is this idea of a magic indicator. It doesn't exist. The real strength in a trading signal comes from building a compelling case, right? It's about gathering evidence from multiple independent sources that are all pointing in the same direction.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because it's about how these elements work together to tell a story. A bullish moving average crossover? That's a decent start, but it gets way more powerful when it's confirmed by, say, a bullish RSI divergence. And what if all that is happening right at a key volume profile level, which is just an area where a ton of trading happened in the past acting as support? Now you've got something.
And that brings us to this crucial concept, confluence. This is the goal of Phase 1. When you have several different analytical tools all screaming the same thing at the same price, well, that's where you find your best, highest probability setups.
So once you've found that high conviction signal, it's time for Phase 2. This is where your analysis gets turned into a concrete, disciplined plan. I absolutely love this analogy. Think of it as a pilot's pre-flight checklist. It makes sure that nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, is left to chance.
This slide really hits on the two most important decisions you'll make before you ever get into a trade: your stop loss and your profit target. Your stop loss is often based on market volatility, maybe using something like the average true range, or ATR, just to give the trade some room to breathe. These are your non-negotiable exit points. You have to define them before you risk a single penny.
And here it is. This number is your ultimate shield. Seriously. Why is this so critical? Well, think about it. Say you have a $10,000 account. Risking 1% means you risk $100 per trade. If you hit a nasty streak of 5 losses in a row, you've lost $500, or 5% of your capital. You can recover. But now imagine risking 10%. After 5 losses, you're down 50%. Your account is crippled. This rule is what keeps you alive to trade another day.
So how do you actually enforce that 1% rule? It's this simple formula right here. This is your key. It takes your risk percentage, it takes your stop-loss distance, and it spits out the exact position size you should be trading. It makes sure you never ever risk more than you plan to. And here's what it all looks like put together. The final product of Phase 2. This is your trade blueprint. Every single variable is defined. We can see the stop loss is set at 2 times the ATR, giving it that volatility-based buffer. You've got your entry, your exits, your risk, the exact size. It's all there. There is zero room for guesswork once this trade goes live.
All right, with our blueprint locked and loaded, it's time for Phase 3, managing the live trade. This is where the rubber meets the road. All that careful planning is done, and now our discipline is really put to the test in a live market.
And this right here, this is the battleground. On the left, you've got your systematic, pre-planned adjustments, things you already decided you would do if the trade went your way. On the right, you've got the enemy of every single trader, emotional interference. This is moving your stop because you're scared, closing a good trade because you're anxious, or, the worst, adding to a loser out of pure hope. Your one and only job is to stick to the system.
So the crucial point here is to just be hyper-aware of these common traps, deviating from your plan, trying to get your money back from the market, or even simple tech issues like your internet cutting out. All of it can completely sabotage a perfect trading blueprint. You have to be vigilant. So the trade is over. Win, lose, or break even. But don't just jump to the next one. In a lot of ways, the most important part of this whole process is just getting started. This is where the real learning and improvement actually happens.
This quote just gets right to the heart of what professional trading is all about. Your long-term success is never, ever defined by one win or one loss. It's defined entirely by how consistently you apply a sound, systematic process over and over and over again.
And this checklist, this is your tool for creating that powerful feedback loop for yourself. By analyzing not just the outcome, but your own execution, your discipline, and even your emotional state, you can pinpoint specific areas for improvement and truly make your process better over time.
And that really brings us to the key takeaway. A trading system isn't some static set of rules you create once and then forget about. No, it's a dynamic, living tool that gets better and evolves with every single trade you review. So the question I want to leave you with is this. What did you learn from your last trade?